I crucified Jesus. It's what the crowd wanted, and that's what they got. And personally, I don't feel like that man did anything to deserve that, but I was just a soldier doing my job. When the governor gave his sentence, that's when I would go to work. I loved that job. I felt like I was administering justice every time I nailed someone to a tree. But that man didn't deserve that. Didn't make sense to me.
It makes no sense. There I was, rotting in a jail cell for stealing, murdering. You name it, I've done it. And I knew the next time I stepped foot outside that jail cell, well, and that was it. So the guards, they came and got me, and they put me beside this guy that was beaten to a pulp. Then Governor Pilate started asking the crowd, which one of these men do you want me to set free? I mean, it was obvious. I mean, the crowd, they're going to say, let Jesus go. And then I was going to tell them where they could go. And then the crowd, they started chanting Barabbas. I mean, they were saying my name. They were saying my name over and over and over again. The guards, they threw me to the crowd, and they took Jesus to Golgotha. I mean, one minute I am a man marked for death, and then the next I'm free. It made no sense. So I followed him all the way to Golgotha.
I was stationed at Golgotha that day. We just raised the second criminal when they brought him to me. I'll never forget the way he looked. He'd been beaten, spit on, whipped. He was unrecognizable as a man. Hideous. What was left of his clothes were stripped off of him, and he was thrown down on the cross. That's when I went to work. Generally, when you crucify a man, the first hand is the most difficult. The criminal wants to get away, he fights you. So I would have 2 soldiers hold him down, but this guy, he didn't put up a fight. I just thought he was exhausted. As an executioner, I've been called every name in the book. I've had men yell at me, plead with me. But I wasn't prepared for that. He looked at us. He looked at me. And he said, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. He forgave me.
Forgive them. He said, forgive them. Who is he? Forgive. It should have been me up there. I was the one that was supposed to be hanging on that cross. He took my place. Then I looked up, and I remember he took a deep, agonizing breath, and he said, it is finished. And then he died.
Surely, this man was the Son of God.
Reading from Isaiah chapter 53, verses 1 to 6. Who has believed our message? And to whom has the arm of the Lord been revealed? He grew up before him like a tender shoot and like a root out of dry ground. He had no beauty or majesty to attract us to him, nothing in his appearance that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by mankind, a man of suffering and familiar with pain, like one from whom people hide their faces. He was despised, and we held him in low esteem. Surely he took up our pain and bore our suffering. Yet we considered him punished by God, stricken by him and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his wounds we are healed. We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each of us has turned to our own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. A short while ago, I was walking here to the church, and a gentleman was approaching me coming the other way, and so I moved as far to the right as the sidewalk would allow. Well, he took more extreme measures. He walked as far away from me as possible, going onto the grass. In fact, I thought he was going to jump over the fence to avoid me. And certainly it's important for us to heed the call of officials to maintain distance one from another, and to pay attention to those who have scientific expertise and medical knowledge, who advise us on safe distancing one from another. The story of the gospel, though, is of a God who comes close to us, who does not maintain a safe distance from us. At one level, that might be good news for those of us who are feeling somewhat isolated, feeling alone, feeling distant from other people, that there is a God who is close to us. And the gospel story is that this Jesus of Nazareth came so close to us that it cost him his life. Don't you almost cringe a little bit in this day and age of social distancing to read the stories of Jesus as he touches people who are unclean, people who had medical issues that were contagious, those who were unclean by religious standards, and yet he reaches out and touches them. And the gospel is a story of us, that Jesus reaches out and touches us, even though it isn't safe to do so. And the disease that we have is far more potent than the coronavirus or any leprosy or anything like that humanity has had over the ages. The disease that we have has a 100% mortality rate. It is our sin. And it is our sin that causes God his death on a cross. It is our sin that nails Jesus there. This isn't just a sentimental story that should bring a tear to our eye. It is that. It's a story that tells a truth, that explains an effect that we participate in. That the Lord of life, the Lord of light, through his suffering and death, or as Isaiah tells it, by his wounds we are healed. By his death we have life. It is this divine embrace of love that knows no distance, that we can only marvel at, and with the songwriter exclaim, "When I survey the wondrous cross on which the Prince of Glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour contempt on all my pride. See from his head, his hands, his feet, sorrow and love flow mingled down. Did e'er such love and sorrow meet, or thorns compose so rich a crown? Were the whole realm of nature mine, that were an offering far too small. Love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my all." Amen.
Jesus Messiah, name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel. the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah, Lord of all. He became sin who knew no sin, that we might become His righteousness. He humbled Himself and carried the cross. Love so amazing, love so amazing. Jesus Messiah, name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah, Lord of all. His body the bread, His blood the wine, broken and poured out, all for love. The whole earth trembled and the veil was torn. Love so amazing, love so amazing. Jesus Messiah, name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah, Lord of all. All our hope is in you. All our hope is in you. All the glory to you, God, the Lord of the world. Jesus Messiah, name above all names, blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel.